Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today, as you guys can see by the title, we are doing another episode of the 3-volume rule. Today we are covering a little series known as Die Dark, made by Q Hayashida, who is the same creator as Dorohedoro. This series is produced by 7 Seas, and I had the first 3 volumes. I got it a while ago, and I decided to read through it recently. So I'm here to give you guys my thoughts and whether or not it passes my 3-volume rule, and whether or not I'm going to continue to pick this series up. Before we do get started, I did want to say a few things. Firstly, while I was gone, or since the last time I made a video, we did hit 300 subs here on the channel, so a big thank you to you all. It's just crazy. We hit 200, I feel like, was it like a month ago or something like that? Or 2 months ago? I don't know, I can't remember. Not long ago at all, and we're already at 300, so keep up the momentum, guys. If you're new here, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, thank you all for 300 subs. Also, if you'd like to stay in the loop with my channel and everything in my community, be sure to join the Discord with the link down below. I just did a bunch of updating stuff with all of that, added a bunch of new stuff, increased some safety features, stuff like that. So it was a bit of a server revamp, so if you guys want to join that, it's a safer place now. Not that it wasn't safe before, but it's even safer, so yeah. Just come by, say hello, let's talk about some manga, some games, anything. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So first off, I'll give you guys a little bit of a synopsis, as I always do. What exactly is Die Dark? From what I understand, based on reading, and I haven't done any other reading outside of the actual volumes, it follows our main character, and his name is already escaping my mind. It's been a few weeks, or a couple of weeks, honestly, since I've read it. He has the power of darkness, so he's able to like manipulate darkness, I guess. He wears like this cloak that absorbs damage and stuff. He can't really be killed, but if he were to be captured, his bones, if anybody were to like capture his bones, they could trade it in and be granted any wish. So he's just like this teenage dude, and his whole life he's been on the run because people have been after him, trying to kill him. He has like a high bounty, because you get his bones, then you have any wish. But he's after the person that cursed him, I guess. But he has a partner who is this backpack called Avidian or Avikian or Avakian. I can't remember how to pronounce it, or exactly how it's spelt, but it's like this skeleton backpack that transformed into a robot, and is honestly sort of this guy's father figure, or just like, this guy's a bit of an airhead, so this robot kind of guides him in the right direction. And between the two of them, they have a very funny and comedic relationship, but also a very like brotherly or fatherly relationship, at least on the robot's part, which I did really enjoy. I thought it was a bit, wholesome. So anyways, yeah, they're just going around through the galaxy in this weird, really weird and grotesque and sort of gross world, just exploring, killing people, getting their bones. So he's also able to collect other people's bones and trade them in to upgrade like his armor and his weapons and stuff like that. It's a bit hard to explain. It's something that's just so bizarre and weird that you just kind of gotta read it to understand, like fully understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, he meets friends along the way, and just adventures through space. So what exactly am I liking about Die Dark? Now, firstly, I guess I'm going to sort of talk about the overall vibe that I get from the story, the setting, the art style, just everything together. and that is a very gross and grotesque, but also gritty art style. Yeah, there's a lot of settings throughout Die Dark that are pretty gross, and a lot of scenes that I think are gross. Like, you see, it's very gory and violent too. Like, you'll see people getting their skin peeled off with, you know, like, and being reduced to just bones as their flesh is ripped off of them. Or there's one part where they're like in this weird little ant hole, like, shopping center, and it just looks gross, and he has to like crawl into these tubes where there's like corpses that are reanimated and stuff. Like, it's pretty disgusting, honestly, but it's weird because it's really dark and gross and gritty, but it's also paired with a very strong comedic cast and a comedic aspect, with like the interactions between different characters. So when you've got like this super violent horror dystopian sci-fi kind of thing, and then also counteract it with comedy, it's really unique in that aspect. Like, I really do enjoy the comedic moments, which is pretty much all of it. Our main character is a very lighthearted, and in a lot of ways reminds me a lot of Luffy from One Piece. And I mean, honestly, Die Dark so far, it kind of reminds me of One Piece in a lot of ways, just like if the Straw Hats were just like a really screwed up crew. Like, not that they wouldn't work well together, but they're just really like messed up people, and very, I don't know, violent, I guess. So that like comedic stuff paired with like the gore and all of that makes it really unique and really interesting to me. Overall, it's just a really fun series, especially with characters that we're introduced to. Probably, I don't know if it's my favorite character, but Shimada Death, or basically the Grim Reaper, our main character becomes friends with. She, well, also spoiler alert, turns out to be a chick, who is a baddie, by the way. She is such a cool character. Like, her whole thing is that when she's just attracted to death, so wherever there's a lot of death, you can expect her to be there. And what happens is, when you die, like, their souls will like go like from their bodies, but to her, like, the souls that are being risen from the bodies are like in the shape of like turkey legs, and so she's just like chowing down. That looked really bad. She's just chowing down on like souls, I guess, and yeah, she just eats them. But as a character, I don't know, she's just really cool. She's pretty much immortal as far as we know. Yeah, I don't know, she's just dope. One thing that I find also really interesting that's sort of in the background is there's a more sinister threat that's sort of looming. You've got a very lighthearted main character and just the overall feel, but you can't help but feel like something's up in the background, because one of the main threats so far is this corporate conglomerate that's like, I forget exactly what they're called, but they're essentially like what you would call like a big tech company, but they basically became a monopoly and control like everything in the entire galaxy. Like, you can look around and everything is probably manufactured and produced by this one company, but they're trying to cover up their past where they were derived from some like religious cult, which is kind of strange because the last couple of series I've read are very similar in that aspect, being Die Dark and Colorless. Both are 7C series too, so, you know, I also read them like back to back. Wasn't expecting that to be like that, but it just was. Yeah, I think that that's really interesting. I've sort of talked about my fascination with that kind of stuff in my Colorless video, but just the fact that there's like this, I don't know, cult that is a looming threat over everything is just really cool. And I don't know where they're gonna take that. This is a series where you don't know where it's gonna go. also. Like, it's just so bizarre and weird that it could go left, it could go right, it could go in a bunch of different directions, and ultimately you as the reader are not going to know where it's going to end up. And for that reason, I will say that Die Dark is gonna pass my 3-volume rule for a few different reasons. Not only is the content amazing, and I'm really loving the story, the characters, the art, everything about Die Dark I really enjoyed, and so far has probably been my favorite read of 2023. I'm gonna be real with you. I've been keeping track of what I have read this year, and so far at least, Die Dark is probably my number 1. Number 2, probably Colorless. Number 3, maybe One Piece. As far as like, I mean, I've only read Thriller Bark this year. I mean, I'm gonna read more, but Die Dark has really surprised me about like just how good it was. Like, I had heard a lot of good things. I've heard good things about the author and Dorohedoro, but I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It was just really fun and engaging. And yeah, I can't wait to continue to pick this up. The only thing is, you know, it's a 7C series. The quality is amazing. The white paper, the very high quality, just covers and like the spines and all that, very high quality. So the price is a little bit higher at around like $14 a volume. But the fact that it doesn't release often at all is sort of a downside in some aspects, because it's like, well, now I have to wait a while for more content. But because of the higher price point, it's like if it were releasing super often alongside all of the other new releases that I'm gonna pick up, that would probably be pretty pricey. So the fact that they're a little bit sparse, you know, allows it to, so you're not spending as much money at once. At least for me, you know, that's a problem. I guess people with, you know, adult money and other manga tubers that have like a bigger budget for this sort of stuff, maybe that's not as big of a problem because they order 70 volumes at a time. But for me personally, saving money on a much smaller scale is a bigger thing to me. Anyways, yeah, it just passes my 3-volume rule. I'm loving it. The quality is amazing. We're just going to see where it goes from here. There are 4 volumes out currently. Like I said, I only read the first 3. My store doesn't have the 4th, so I'm probably going to have to order it. And then I believe volume 5 comes out in a couple of months. I think it's in March it comes out. And I'm for sure going to have to pick that up. But yeah, I'm loving Die Dark and can't wait to read more of it. So anyways, guys, that is going to about do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments or on my Discord server, of course, whether or not you have read Die Dark and what you guys are thinking about it. I mean, I told you all my thoughts here, but I'd really love to have some conversations about Die Dark specifically. I've heard some people talk about it, but it's not a super mainstream series as far as I know. So yeah, let me know. If you guys did enjoy, I've got more videos on the way, so stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.